A good late afternoon or perhaps early evening to you, and thanks for joining us. I'm Holly Shields and you're watching 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚 TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. There's no better way to wind down the day than with today's market close commentary. So let's dive straight in. Australian shares closed higher for the second straight session on Thursday, led by strong rallies in blue chip mining, energy and banking stocks. The equity market witnessed a surge in buying despite rises in COVID-19 cases, as investors seemed to set aside virus jitters for now and shifted focus to corporate earnings. The S&P ASX 200 ended 1.06% higher, setting a new 20-day high. Earlier today, the benchmark index opened higher following a strong finish at Wall Street in the overnight trade and rallied nearly 1.1%. Over the last 5 sessions, the index has gained 0.7% and is currently 0.27% off its record high. The market sentiment was also lifted by stronger than expected trade data. As per the data released by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the merchandise trade surplus hit $13.3 billion in June, driven by strong demand for iron ore. The exports rose by 8% to $41.3 billion and imports stood at $28 billion. On the pandemic front, New South Wales recorded 124 new locally acquired COVID-19 cases in the past 24 hours, while Victoria registered 26. Among the individual stocks, mineral exploration firm 𝐊𝐴𝐚 was the top percentage gainer on the ASX, rising 9.8%. Some of the other major notable gainers were miner Pilbara Minerals, resource company Lynas Rare Earths, and multinational contractor CIMIC Group. On the flip side, fintech firm Zip was the top loser on the ASX, falling over 7.8%. Some of the other worst performers include e-retailer Kogan, dairy and cheese company Bega Cheese, and Australian conglomerate company Metcash. Let's see how the sectoral indices performed today. Well, the market breadth indicating the overall strength of the market was strong, with 10 of the 11 sectoral indices ending in green. The energy and materials sectors were the best performers, with over 2% in gains. Among others, financial, industrial, utilities and telecom added over 1% in gains. Meanwhile, the healthcare sector emerged as the worst performer, with a 0.3% loss. In the banking sector, all the Australian Big Four lenders, Commonwealth, ANZ, Westpac and NAB, ended in the green. Onto the energy space now, and index heavyweights Woodside Petroleum, Beach Energy, Santos, Oil Search, Origin Energy and Ampol were among the notable gainers. In the mining sector, index heavyweights BHP Group, Rio Tinto ended higher for the second day. Now, before we look at the ASX listed shares that are in the news today, it's time for a short break.
Crypto talk by 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚. The crypto market has been red hot, given the Bitcoin rally since the past year. And now the most famous cryptocurrency has got competitors, 𝐷𝐷𝐿 and Ethereum. If the crypto market excites you, tune in with me, Sage, to know the latest developments about the existing digital currencies and the new ones that are joining the race. I'll help you understand the opportunities and the risks the crypto market has in store for you. For all the digital currency related developments, continue watching Crypto Talk by 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐚.
Welcome back, I'm Holly and you're watching 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. In this segment, we'll be shifting our focus onto stocks that are creating a buzz today. Shares of MoneyMe jumped a staggering 9% to $2.07 on strong trading updates. The digital customer credit company has reported originations of $161 million for the June quarter of this fiscal, up nearly five-fold from a year earlier. Revenue rose 73% from 1 year ago. Now let's have a look at these two stocks in the energy space. Shares of Santos gained as much as 3.2% to $6.78 on upgrading production and sales outlooks for financial year 2021. Australian oil and gas producer 𝐊𝐿𝐴 extended gains into the third session, rising 3.2% to 4.170. The energy firm had rejected $8.80 billion takeover bid from Santos on Tuesday. Both the companies said they were open to further talks. And shares of Carbine Resources dropped 6% after the gold and copper-focused miner completed the acquisition of the Mukea West Silica Sand Project in Perth. The 100% acquisition of the Mukea West follows a transaction to acquire Australian United Silica Corporation in April. And one company is zipping downhill fast. Shares of buy now, pay later firm 𝐧𝐞 tumbled as much as 6.7% to hit an intraday low of $7.07. The company released its June quarter earnings result for the fourth quarter ending the 30th of June. The digital payments facilitator reported group revenue is up 104% as compared to the corresponding period last year. This was attributed to the record revenue in the month of June. And shares of the world's largest miner, BHP, extended gains for the second session and rose over 3% on a deal with Elon Musk's Tesla. The company has reportedly signed an agreement to supply nickel to the electric vehicle maker Tesla from its Nickel West mines in Western Australia. BHP is yet to issue an official statement on this development. The development came amid a report that the company is planning to exit the oil and gas business to focus on commodities. Its acquisition o'clock for Australian gold mining company Evolution Mining, who has entered into an agreement with ASX-listed peer Northern Star Resources to acquire its assets for $400 million. Following the announcement, shares of Northern Star Resources rose 3.7% to $10.59. Evolution Mining will acquire 100% stake in Kundana operations and 51% interest in the East Kundana Point joint venture. Plus, it will also acquire 100% interest in a certain tenement comprising the Carbine project and a 75% interest in the West Kundana joint venture. And one company is riding high off the back of substantial funding. Shares of Lynas Rare Earths rallied as much as 9% to $6.41 after the miner secured a $14.8 million grant from the Australian government. The grant has been awarded as a part of the government's Modern Manufacturing Initiative after the company passed the competitive selection process. The company intends to use the funds to commercialize an industry-first rare earth carbonate refining process, which has been developed by their in-house research and development team. And now, before we look at some more major ASX listed shares that are in the news today, it's time for another short break.
Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
Sectoral coverage or industry news.
we cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
With 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV. Welcome back, I'm Holly and you're watching 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV live from Sydney. This is the last trade. Shares of mineral exploration firm Cobra zoomed 12.12% to $7.81 after the company released its quarterly report for the June quarter. The stock was the top percentage gainer on the ASX. The mine has reported a rise in production and sales revenue during the quarter ending June 30. They also posted 31% in growth in lithium production as compared to the previous corresponding period. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the output rose marginally by 2% as well. And good news from the yellow metal space, gold miner Newcrest Mining's released its quarterly business update. The company has reported gold production of 542,000 ounces and copper production of 38,000 tons in the June quarter of 2021. It's also set a goal of net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050. The share price of Bank of Queensland surged after the lender appointed former ME Bank Director Deborah Kears to the board of directors. The development came following the successful acquisition of ME Bank. And shares of software firm Altium extended losses for the fourth straight session. Brokerage firm RBC has downgraded Altium back to underperform, and it sits below the financial year 2021 guidance and financial year 2022 street estimates. The stock has witnessed selling pressure since the start of it this week after the company failed to secure a takeover bid from US peer Autodesk. And shares of engineering contractor Zimmer Group extended their rally for the second day. The multinational contractor on Wednesday released its half-yearly earnings report. The group revenue rose 10.6% for the 6 months ending June 30. The company has also maintained its 2021 financial year profit guidance following robust earnings in the first half of the year. Australian construction material manufacturer Adbri saw its shares surging on a deal with an Australian energy company, Senex Energy. As a part of the deal, Senex has agreed to supply up to 11 petajoules of natural gas to support Adbri's South Australian manufacturing work. And now for a quick look at the Asian market performance. The Asian market extended its rally for the second session on Thursday, tracking overnight gains on Wall Street. Investors seem to have shrugged off virus concerns for now and looked ahead to the European Central Bank meeting for reassurance that policy support will continue for some time. One country has closed up shop for what looks like a long weekend. Markets in Japan remain closed until Monday. But outside of the Olympic host country, Asia's markets are on fire in a good way. Hong Kong's Hang Seng was the best performer in the region, rising nearly 1.6%, while China's Shanghai Composite was up 0.3% and the Straits Times in Singapore gained 1.3%. In a similar trend, Taiwan's weighted stock index surged 0.3%, while Seoul's Kospi was up 1%. And India's BSE Sensex also gained over 1% in the opening deals. Well, that is just about all for now in our show The Last Trade. With our existing operations in Australia, New Zealand, the UK and Canada, 𝐊𝐴LKINE Media has launched its operations in US markets as well. Every day on our first show, the Global Market Updates, you can get the latest and most important news from the US, UK and Asia Pacific markets. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. live from Sydney. Holly Shields signing off.